feeling good. Cause for $9.99, I can watch any movie that I want. One a day if I want to. And sometimes, well, I want to. I be racking points up at Regal for popcorn. Got a couple comps for my people. Saw Deadpool 1 at home and used the pass to see the sequel. I be good with the past. Now my schedule never empty though. Got me feeling artsy. Saw Shape of Water playing at the Lemley. Felt awkward sneaking in my half-filled water bottle. Half empty though. But with the movie pass, I got choices. In movies I see plenty. And not just the matinees at times.
Dope Dealer Podcast, you know what it is.
Dope Dealers.
It's the world's most dangerous podcast. The People's Podcast. It's Jamal Doman.
Tobe Hixx.
What's up with episode 29? Yeah.
29.
Woo, we're just moving and grooving, man.
Yeah. The streets is still buzzing off of episode 28.
I know.
The streets is buzzing off of episode 28.
If you guys have not listened to episode 28, please go back and listen to that. That's probably one of our most talked about episodes, man. I can't explain it to you, man.
You just got to go back.
Yeah,
episode 28. Make sure you check that out.
Yeah. The episode is titled, What's Up, Satan?
Hell Satan.
Hell Satan. So
Hell Satan.
We just let you go from there. Well, what's up, Tobe Hixx?
Oh, man, I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Oh, man, we chilling, man. We chilling, man. Shout out to everybody who came out to the Improv this weekend to check out Michael Blackson, man. It was 4 dope shows, man, and we did our thing, man, so I appreciate that, man. What's up with you, man? You good?
Yeah, man.
Shout out to the military, the troops. Yeah.
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Coast Guard.
Yeah, you know we do it for you guys.
The Bloods.
Yeah, we do it for you guys, man. So the people, all the servicemen and women stationed overseas, man, this is your podcast, man. You know we do it for you guys, man. Well, listen, man, it's that time of the year. It's probably one of the most exciting times of the year.
Yeah,
the NFL season is about to begin.
Yes. It's that time.
And I'm more excited than ever because I'm coming off a Super Bowl win.
Yeah, first time ever.
First time ever. You know what it is, my Philadelphia Eagles. So we were in. And we're going to get all into that, and we're going to do it again, but we're going to get into all that, man. So listen, this is our 2018 NFL season preview show. What we're going to do, man, we're going to preview all the divisions one by one. We're going to spend about 7 minutes on each division, and then we're going to, after we do each division, we're going to tell you who we think is going to be the winner of that division, and then at the end, we're going to have our Super Bowl picks, who we think coming out the AFC and NFC, and who is going to be the Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles. But listen, before we get into that, let's bring our NFL expert, man.
We got the guru in the house.
Our NFL guru, he's back.
He's back.
He's like our utility knife man. He's the honorary third host of the Dope Dealer podcast, but he's an NFL expert, man. You heard him. We brought him in for the NFL draft. He helped us out with that, and now he's back help us out with the NFL. And this guy knows his shit, Toby.
Yeah, he does.
He knows his shit.
Everybody who heard the other podcast, he's like, oh, that goddamn Joey know what he's talking about.
Knows his shit.
Right. He make y'all shit sound official.
Dope Dealer podcast presents Joey Eberlein.
Eberlein.
I keep messing up.
Eberlein.
Joey Eberlein. Yeah.
Ring that bell.
Eberlein. Yeah. Eberlein.
What's going on, Jamal? What's up, Toby?
What's up?
Good?
Ooh, feels good to be back.
Like the old quarterback, Steve Berline.
Oh, Eberlein. Okay.
Eberlein. There you go. Come on now.
So you what's up, man? You excited about the season?
Really excited about the season. Being a New York Giants fan.
Ooh.
Just locked up Odell Beckham Jr. to his long-term deal.
He got his money.
I don't think he deserves more than Antonio Brown, but the guy deserved to get paid. I'd rather him be on my team all 16 weeks than having to worry about facing him 2 weeks out of the year.
I'll tell you what, all the cocaine dealers in America show happy he got paid.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
That white substance in the hotel room.
Hey, man,
y'all notice how that story has gone under the rug, too?
It didn't go under the rug with me.
No, but you notice, though, how the NFL hasn't commented on it?
Because it wasn't nothing to it.
I tell you what, as a former dope dealer, we love those type of stories because we knew who to target. That's the cat you get in with him. Now, you think he ain't got no drug dealers on the side? Like, yo, OBJ, got that fresh powder.
Got to say, though, there are a lot of intriguing storylines from this offseason for this coming season in the NFL. Though.
We're going to get into all of them, man.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff. I'm thrilled to be here today, boys.
So what we're going to do, man, we're going to go take it division by division. We're going to go in it. We're going to start in the AFC. We're going like I said, we're going to spend like 7 minutes on each one, man, and then at the end, we're going to say who we think we're going to win the division. So let's get right down for the crown, man. It's the Dope Dealer Podcast 2018 NFL season preview. Let's go to the AFC, and let's start with the AFC East, man. Let's start in the East with the Patriots, Bills, Dolphins, Jets. Last year, the Patriots, of course, won the division for like the 50th straight time with a 13-3 record. The Bills,
they are something else.
The Bills made the playoffs for the first time in like a long time with a 9-7 record. The Dolphins were 6-10, and the Jets were 5-11, which was actually better than a lot of people thought the Jets were going to be last year.
Yep.
So let's start it off, man. AFC East, man. What y'all thoughts?
I picked the Patriots to repeat.
Of course.
But I expect the Bills to be improved from last season. They had a very good draft.
What about their quarterback situation?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They starting
I'm liking Josh Allen. I feel like he's getting better week in and week out.
But he's not ready yet.
Yeah, he may not be ready yet.
He got concussed damn near last week.
Yeah, but who doesn't get concussed every damn week though in the league? Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. But but they'll be improved though. You know, the quarterback situation, you want to mention that, but I in particular really like what they did defensively in the draft with Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah, I like
the linebacker. I don't know if anyone of the listeners remember how high I was on him when we did our mock draft. They had to trade up 6 spots to get him, but I say well worth it at 16. Third round pick Harrison Phillips out of Stanford. I really that's going to be like Kyle Williams 2.0, the interior of that D line. But back to the Patriots, who I am picking to repeat. I don't know how many years straight this is, 4 or 5, whatever. Yeah. But they did have a tough blow to their offensive line. First round pick Isaiah Wynn out of Georgia is out for the year with a torn Achilles.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah.
Unfortunate news. We've discussed this before unanimously as a panel. We are not Patriots fans, but we also respect their concept of football. They know what they're doing.
Correct. Yes.
Isaiah Wynn, clearly a high character guy, came out of that very good Georgia Bulldogs team last year. Was supposed to be blocking for his college roommate Sonny Michel at the next level for this coming season. Yeah. Hopefully he responds, but. You know, Sonny Michel's a guy, too, who a lot of scouts were high on. Many view him as the steal of the draft at number 31 to fall to New England.
New England, a lot of people were saying they were on a down slope. It was a lot of off-season stuff where, you know, people thought Gronkowski was going to retire. That didn't happen. They're still the team to beat in this division. They will win this division.
As long as number 12 is under center and the guy with that hoodie is on the sideline.
And I like their defense. I actually like their defense. I'm not crazy about the Bills. Their offensive line is shitty to me. And that quarterback, I actually like, I don't think he should, he need to be sitting on the sideline for at least the first half of the season, man.
The last preseason game, that third preseason game, he got rocked. And
the offensive line was horrible.
If you seen his interview after the game, he looked like he didn't know what was going on. I mean,
he's not ready yet. No, and they said he was going to be a project when he was drafted.
But, you know, I mean, shit coming out of Wyoming, they wasn't playing nobody. So I don't know
playing the toughest squads. That was one thing.
I don't know when he gonna be ready.
I will admit I was a little perplexed. I knew that they were high on him, but I was perplexed by them trading up to get him. And most Bills fans who I have spoken to, they have said, yeah, he looks better than we thought he would so far. But they would have preferred if they were going to trade up that they would have taken Rosen out of UCLA instead of this kid from Wyoming. But time will tell. The Miami Dolphins, let's not forget, they were a playoff team just 2 seasons ago.
But Buffalo, once they got rid of Tyrod Taylor, they don't even really have a choice but to put him out there.
They might not now.
Put Nathan Peterman back out there.
Well, then you've got because McCarron with the collarbone injury is his deal right now.
But it's not. It wasn't serious. They
could keep in mind one of these teams. You look at the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think they're going to keep
RG3.
3 quarterbacks, RG3 being the odd man out in that case. They could go for him.
Teddy Bridgewater
at the Jets. That's the next one I was going to bring up right there. So the Bills can make a move for a quarterback right now if they need to. If they need to, they can. But, you know, back to the Dolphins. Let's be clear. 2 years ago, they were a playoff team.
Yes. Last year without Tannehill out the whole season. Hurt him, really set him back.
Tannehill.
Sue gone. He in L.A. now.
Yeah, and Dominican Sue, I don't think ever really fit that system in Miami anyway. So, and I mean, you're a Nebraska guy, so
that's my guy.
That's your guy, man. Cornhusker
Step on
right
a head,
there.
Sue. Step on a head.
I don't know, but their draft really perplexed me. I like the versatility of the defensive back Minkah Fitzpatrick from Alabama. Was a little taken aback by their second round pick, Mike Gesicki, the Penn State from tight end, because the guy's a solid receiving tight end, but you had Dallas Goedert, on the board, who eventually went to Philly a few picks later, which obviously we'll touch on down the road. The guy is not a pass blocking tight end. His blocking is horrendous, so I really don't see what they did there. I know Julius Thomas just announced his retirement this week. Yeah. Maybe they knew something about the tight end position that we didn't. And then there's that other team, the Jets. Yeah. There's an acronym out there. Some people say JETS stands for just end the season.
Oh, wow.
But
I think they've got a lot to look forward to this year.
I think the Jets are streaming.
They're moving in the right direction. They're moving in the right direction.
Sam Darnold seems to be ready. Everybody's ready to go.
I got to admit, I am more than surprised at how composed and poised he already seems to be.
You know what was great about what I heard is that they said that he hasn't made the same mistake twice.
And there's a lot.
Damn,
there's a lot to be said for a guy who also had 13 interceptions his final season at USC.
And he's been in LA, so he'll be used to the big lights. So the media won't be too tough on it. I mean, he's used to it.
The colder weather, though, may take some adjusting as it gets deeper into the season. It gets that much colder in the Meadowlands.
The biggest question in this division is, will Tom Brady, is Father Time, going to catch up with him?
Some point. At some point.
You have to think, right?
You have to think.
Alex Guerrero got him. Alex Guerrero got him.
That's true. He's got that trainer.
With them PEDs.
That is true. I mean, because you gotta look at.
He back on the plane.
You've got to look at
Brady. I know Belichick is pissed off. Guerrero is back on the plane.
Because you got to look at
traveling with the team.
Who is it that's out? Edelman to start off the year with the PED suspension. You look at Eric Decker. He signed a 1-year deal last week. He's decided he has retired from the NFL now. They are struggling at the wide receiver position. I will admit, though, I am intrigued by Cordarrelle Patterson in that system now. Yeah. Very electrifying wide receiver. Going back to the 2013 draft, I believe, out of the University of Tennessee.
Yeah, I like him, yeah.
But one guy I'd say to keep an eye on is Braxton Berrios, the late-round draft pick they took out of the U. It's Tom Brady. He'll just find a way. It's next man up in the Patriots system. You got Tom Brady under center. I know the line suffered a blow, but I think they'll be okay. More than okay.
You don't expect TB12 to slow down any.
I don't.
All right, division winners. Who's winning this division? I think this is easy.
New England Patriots.
Yeah, I gotta go with New England.
That's a 3 for 3. Any other playoff teams out of this division?
I can't see it.
I could see the Jets maybe surprising some people, but I'm going to go with the Bills.
All right, we are right on time. That is 7.5 minutes for the AFC East, man.
What's next?
Let's move it on grooving, man. Let's go to the AFC
North.
Let's go to the AFC North. Let me bring up the division. So AFC North, last year's record is Steelers at 13-3, Ravens at 9-7, Bengals at 7-9, and the Cleveland Browns, oh Lord have mercy, 0-16.
Damn, save a black man's job, Cleveland.
So here we are, AFC North. Let's reset.
For all I know, maybe someone has some dirt on Hugh Jackson, and he's forced to keep that job, Toby.
Hey, so this is. The window is closing on the Steelers, but I still like them this year. I'm not crazy about their offense going to do their thing. I'm not crazy about their secondary, and I know that Ryan Shazier injury really hurt them because
it does.
He was doing his thing, but I still have them coming out. This is going to be a tough division. I think the Browns are going to be improved. But what else can they do? But they can't go 0-16 again.
If there's one thing I will say, in this division in particular is the Ravens. You know, there are a lot of questions for good reasons.
Yeah.
You know, Lamar Jackson, you can't invest too much stock in preseason, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from him so far.
Yeah.
He is shown, you know, and everyone says, yeah, it's preseason. You know, he's not going up against, first string guys, but you're still going up against NFL caliber athletes there.
Yeah, that is true.
And his speed is still on par from what we saw. We're seeing him throw from the pocket a little bit. It's also... Go ahead. Oh, no, go ahead, Toby.
They always want to poo-poo the black quarterback, the rookies, the young ones, till they see.
Well, I'm going to poo-poo him.
Deshaun Watson.
I'm going to poo-poo Lamar. He's not Deshaun Watson. He's not ready. He's not ready. If Lamar has to play a one down this year for the Ravens, it's not a good year for the Ravens. They better hope Flacco do his thing and, you know, show.
I think they might keep RG3. I think they might keep 3 quarterbacks.
It's a possibility, and it's not too outrageous of a scenario to consider when you look at Lamar Jackson. They could put him in the Wildcat formation. You know, they could have him at wide receiver in some place too. But because the one thing I was going to say about Lamar Jackson is, at the very least so far, his presence seems to have lit a fire under Joe Flacco.
That is true, yeah.
Joe Flacco wants to prove he still belongs as a starter for the Ravens. So,
but all that money he's making, he shouldn't have needed nobody to help him prove it. But
he's more mobile. Happen. He is more mobile than ever at the quarterback position than I have seen him throughout his entire career.
I don't see any real competition for Pittsburgh. I mean, in the division.
I always, there's always, competition head to head with the Ravens and the Steelers. You can put the records out the window at that point. But in terms of winning the division, I'm with you. I don't really see much competition for the Steelers in that regard. I don't sense any difficulty, despite, Ben Roethlisberger. He's been around since that 2004 draft class with Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning. You look at Le'Veon Bell. You got to wonder what kind of attitude is he going to come into the locker room if not being signed to a long-term deal for the second straight season.
You think this will be his last year in Pittsburgh?
It is.
I think so.
Yeah, they not re-signing him.
And I don't think he wants to re-sign with them, no matter what. If they haven't paid him now, they're not going to pay him next year.
That is true.
Then you look at the Cleveland Browns. They had a much better draft than I initially gave them credit for.
I think so, too, from what I've seen in the preseason.
They had a good offseason. They brought in Jarvis Landry from Miami, signed him long-term. I say well-deserved for that. The fourth pick was where we all kind of, started shaking our heads like, you had Bradley Chubb right there. Why didn't you take him? But Denzel Ward, the guy is going to be a good cornerback. And the last time I remember them taking a cornerback in the top 10 was in 2010 when they took Joe Hayden, 7th overall out of the University of Florida. And we all know that guy did some nice things in Cleveland.
With no team around him.
Really
Myles
nobody
Garrett
around
out there
him.
looking like a one-man wrecking crew.
And that's the thing that you have to wonder, though.
As he should, being the number 1 pick.
He should be, is right. But usually it takes, having pieces around you to be a one-man wrecking crew to light up the stat sheet. If there's one thing I'm going to say about the draft is with Bradley Chubb and Myles Garrett, what could have been?
Oh, yeah.
If Chubb pans out, as we all expect him to, you just wonder what that 1-2 punch could have been on the edges for years to come in the Midwest. But, are we missing a team right now?
Bengals.
That's the most intriguing. I'm still baffled each year on how Marvin Lewis keeps his job.
I second that.
The last thing I want to do is advocate for a black man to be fired. But man, I don't know how Marvin Lewis keeps his job.
I mean, once again, to what I said about Hugh Jackson, maybe someone has some dirt on him in the Bengals.
Marvin got to have some dirt on somebody.
That's forcing him to keep his job.
Yeah, they got to.
But I was reading today, the Bengals smartly have locked up 2 of their defensive line anchors long-term, Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap. So that's excellent steps in the right direction right there. They had a very, very good draft as well, too.
Yeah. Pac-Man gone.
Pac-Man has gone to Denver, who we will be talking about shortly. But I must say, one pick who they got in the 3rd round was I believe we had him as a 1st rounder in our mock draft, was Sam Hubbard from The Ohio State University.
Oh, the defensive end. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the 3rd round pick, he's looking good. He had, he's
the Bengals have always had talent. They've always had talent.
But Billy Price at center, who they took out of The Ohio State University as well, too, I might add. I'm intrigued by this squad. A.J. Green.
Yeah, A.J. Green. John Ross is finally showing.
If he comes back healthy, he's showing some signs
speed.
of that world-class speed.
Yeah, he caught that. He's got, just tell him to go long every play.
Tyler Eifert at tight end when that guy's on the field.
Joe Mixon.
Mixon. Yeah. Mixon's a baller out of the backfield.
But you know what the Bengals' whole key is? The quarterback, Andy Dalton. I think Dalton is the...
He's serviceable, but
him and Marvin Lewis should be gone. Dalton and Lewis.
Dalton's a guy. He's not going. You don't think he's going to win a Super Bowl. I will say that much. But he is worthy of being a starting quarterback. He's just not the guy to get the job done.
That makes no sense.
He's just not the guy to get the job done. He's worthy of being a starting quarterback, but to get the job done, to get you over the hump, he's not that guy.
He's Trent Dilfer.
He's not that guy.
He's Trent Dilfer. You put it.
I don't even know if he's Trent Dilfer.
He put a solid team around him. He can do something.
Yeah, he can hold it down.
If you put a solid team around him, he can do something.
I also think A.J. Green does have a tendency to make him look better than he really is at times. On top of it all,
and they starting to waste his career too. But I really the Bengals are going to be the surprise team. I guess if the Browns win 4 games, that would be considered a surprise team, which the Browns probably will.
I think the Browns could get 5.
I got a feeling Baker Mayfield, just because he's a guy who just really doesn't seem to care what other people think or perceive him as. That's kind of that guy. They need to be the center of their franchise right now.
So you put him out there right now in front of Tyrod Taylor?
Not right now, but I just mean, somebody who's going to get people believing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Browns have some pieces. The Steelers are still the cream of the crop. The Steelers' window is closed, and they got to do something this year.
This is it for them.
Yeah, they got to do something this year.
Are they done? Yeah.
This is going to be a real interesting division to watch. the Bengals are, to me, like a sleeper team, man, because the Bengals, a couple of seasons ago where they were looking on.
They going to sleep all right.
Oh, well, if they didn't fumble,
they ain't shit.
If they didn't fumble in the what was that? The divisional round against the Steelers.
Marvin Lewis has not won a playoff game.
Yeah, he has, and Vontaze Burfict, of course, is suspended for the first 3 games.
That's right. Damn good player, dirty, but he's a damn good player.
All right, so that is the AFC North, man.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh division winners.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Toby. Okay, so we 3 for 3 on that one too.
Any other playoff teams? I think the Ravens might get close, but not quite good enough for a playoff team this season.
I would have to agree.
The Browns are playing. No, I'm just. All right, so let's take it on. Let's take it to the West Coast, man. And let's go to the AFC West, man. Last year, a tough division. Last year, the Chiefs won it with a 10-6 record. The Chargers were 9-7. The Raiders were 6-10, and the Broncos was 5-11. AFC West, let's get into it.
Well, let's keep in mind the Chargers started last season 0-4.
Yes, they did.
As well. Got their first win against my Giants in Week 5. But, they had a strong finish. Obviously, with a better kicker, might have been a playoff team. The Kansas City Chiefs, the defending AFC West champions for, is it 2 straight seasons now?
I think 2 straight, yeah.
I believe 2 straight.
New quarterback, Pat Mahomes. Toby, I want you to start off with this one because you're a Raiders fan. This is your team's division. I want you to start this one off here.
Hey, well, I got to admit that pass he threw in that preseason game, that was remarkable. I mean, I was like, whoa, look at the arm of this kid. But he's got to show something first. But a lot of people are high on him. And obviously, I'm going to go with my Raiders in this division. I mean, I feel like we've got to have hope. Gruden's got to do something, but I'm just sitting here flabbergasted by the fact we haven't re-signed Khalil Mack. Like, that shit's really bothering me.
That's so Raider-like. That's so Raider-like, man.
He's a guy.
I know Al Davis is turning over in his grave knowing this bullshit going down like this.
You've had him at a bargain since you took him 5th overall in the 2014 draft.
And he ain't come. I mean, he's losing like over $800,000 a week during the preseason for games for not showing up. So, I mean, we got to pay this man. But Kansas City, man, Mahomes, even though he's young, he's got a lot of weapons. So, but I still just feel like he's got a long way to go. There's no way. I mean, I see. If I was him, I would have moved on from Alex Smith too. But this is going to take a moment. But you know, he does have Andy Reid, who's one of the best quarterback coaches in the NFL.
And that's how I feel. You know, you mentioned already one of the best quarterback coaches in the NFL. Jamal here can certainly, you know, go on for Andy Reid since he was at the helm for the Eagles for as many years as he was.
Yeah, I know his weaknesses and his strengths.
And I think...
But his strengths is developing quarterback.
Yes, and you look at a guy like Patrick Mahomes, we all know this guy has, you know, the physical tools, you know, in particular with that strong throwing arm.
Yeah, he threw that ball 70 yards in the air.
He is something else. You know, the weapons, you look at Tyreek Hill. They added Sammy Watkins this offseason from Los Angeles.
Shit.
Travis Kelce. Well, I will say one thing. I don't think Sammy Watkins deserved the money he got.
Nah, hell no.
He was in a mess of a system in Buffalo while he was there. Regarding LA, he showed some flashes that the boy can play, that he's still got some game. I don't think he deserved the contract he got. I mean, Kareem Hunt was a real sleeper last year as a rookie. For the run game, and I believe, don't they have another guy coming back, Spencer Ware?
Spencer
Ware's coming back. You know, maybe can put Kareem on the sideline for, you know, get some rest here and there, make him a little stronger late in games. Did I mention Travis Kelce?
Yeah, you did. You know what? Tight ends.
Terrific talent, but he seems to be a head case though. When it comes to the bigger moments, and you know that's something right there. You got to hope someone's going to be willing to, you know, kind of help keep him in check from time to time. We'll see how that goes. But let's not get lost, you know, in the Chiefs here. The Broncos had a very good NFL draft.
The Case Keenum era begins.
The Case Keenum era begins.
They misspelled his name on his fucking jersey at the introduction. That's how the era began.
They misspelled it or they mispronounced it?
Misspelled his name on the back of the jersey.
Because I remember they called him Case Keesum. I didn't know they misspelled it too. That's funny. But they did draft Cortland Sutton, second round pick out of wide receiver out of SMU for wide receiver. Fellow SMU alum Emmanuel Sanders, he's in a contract here, as is Demaryius Thomas. So the Broncos are going to have some choices to make this offseason. If I'm them, I'm committing long-term to Demaryius, and I'm allowing Emmanuel to walk with this kid waiting in the wings right here in Cortland Sutton. Bradley Chubb might have been the first steal of the NFL draft, going 5th overall to the Broncos right there to pair him up alongside Von Miller.
Yeah, that's going to be some shit.
And Derek Wolfe still on the interior of that defensive line. Suspect secondary, I'd say. But if you can get to the quarterback, it don't matter what your secondary looks like sometimes.
Well, the Chiefs, I'm not well, we're talking about the Broncos. Yeah, the Broncos still. I'm not a huge Case Keenum fan, but they're going to be definitely better than they were last year with at least a serviceable quarterback. To me, this is the Chargers division. If they stay injury-free. The Chargers have the best talent in this division.
They have no home field advantage.
They don't have that, hurts, but, you know, they do have the best quarterback in this division. They have the best bookend defensive ends until, you know.
Joey Bosa's the man.
Yeah, Melvin Ingram. I love Derwin James, the first-round draft pick. This is the Chargers. Chargers just, listen, they were 9-7 last year with all them injuries and started 0-4. The Chiefs are going to take a step back because just starting with a rookie quarterback, even though this is his second year. The Raiders were this lovable Cinderella team a couple years ago. And
year before last.
Lightning is going to strike twice or 3 times with John Gruden. It's not.
But I'm a little upset with my Raiders for the simple fact that they found a way to give John Gruden $100 million, but they can't pay the player.
They can't pay Khalil Mack. Yeah,
that doesn't even make fucking sense.
Well, John Gruden said their defense wasn't even that great with Khalil Mack.
John Gruden said some stupid shit.
He said
don't
that.
Say no dumbass shit like that. You just got there. Have a conversation. I mean, I didn't really dig that. Come on, Chucky, let's get this shit right. Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't even feel comfortable. He taking up $100 million. He ain't playing one motherfucking down. Ain't taking no hits, and then you can't pay the players who out there busting their ass. That shit don't make sense.
And then now let's keep in mind too, when you look back at the defending division champs here, the Chiefs, they traded away their best corner this offseason, Marcus Peters, to the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
Now, terrific talent, but believed to be a head case, a guy who I didn't realize until I saw him at Rams training camp a couple weeks ago. He got kicked off the team at Washington.
He did.
Yeah, he'll be all right out here because he got weed he can get and he can just calm down and relax. So So, yeah, that'll be a lot better for him.
We shall see, and I'm sure Aqib Talib will assist him in that regard.
You smoke weed in Missouri. You got to be all paranoid, tripping. That's why he was acting up. See, now he can just smoke freely out here, have his homeboy go to the dispensary, pick it up, and be cool. Come on, Marcus Peters.
So, but I'm picking the Chiefs to repeat.
You picking the Chiefs?
I'm picking them. I trust Mahomes.
I'm picking the Chargers. Toby. Oh, I'm going
with the Raiders. Yeah, but I definitely don't. I mean,
Raiders had a good draft though, getting Arden
I'm going with my heart with the Raiders
and Hayden Hurst for that defense.
And one thing I will say, it is now or never for Phillip Rivers. He got 22 kids.
He got 8 kids. That's what I was going to say.
He got 22 kids. He's aged. This is it for him.
I wonder whose Father Day is better, his or Antonio Cromartie's. I'm gonna go with Crime Time.
Phillip Rivers.
Cromartie don't even get to see all his kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Phillip Rivers' kids live in the same house.
Cromartie can't even name all his kids.
Yeah. That is true. Wonder how.
All right, so we're gonna go to the AFC. That was the AFC West. So one more division AFC, and we're gonna go down south and keep to the dirty South. Last year, let me look at the finals.
This is going to be the toughest division.
Yeah, I think so too. Last year, the Jaguars won it with a 10-6 record. The Titans made the playoffs with a 9-7 record. The Colts, without Andrew Luck the whole season, went 4-12, and the Texans went 4-12 also, losing their last 6. All right, so let's start it off. AFC South.
Whew. Okay. So the Jacksonville Jaguars started off the offseason on the highest note, signing Andrew Norwell, the best guard in the league, to help shore up the offensive line.
Yeah, because they want to run. They want to run and punish people.
So you're protecting Blake Bortles at quarterback, but in particular, the biggest thing is protecting the running back, Leonard Fournette.
They need to protect Bortles. He's horrible.
They did lose Marquise Lee to a preseason injury.
Yeah, is he done for the year?
Just placed on IR, done for the year.
But the thing is, the only good thing about that is they used to it because they lost him last year too. So the young guys are used to playing without him.
But they don't have Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson anymore. They lost Hurns to the Cowboys and Robinson to the Bears.
They picked up Dante Moncrief from the Colts.
Des Bryant's still available.
Yeah.
I don't see Tom Coughlin taking a shot on a guy like him.
Tom too conservative. He ain't got time for that shit.
What you talking about? They got Jalen Ramsey on their team.
And they drafted Odell. And when he was with the Giants.
Yeah. But I'm saying at this point, the key word is drafted these guys. He don't want to bring in a headache.
The thing that worries me about the Jacksonville Jaguars, we all know Jalen Ramsey. I think we all can agree Jalen Ramsey's the best cornerback in the NFL right now.
Yes, he is.
Best shit talker.
Okay, we'll get to that in a quick second.
That defense they got,
but that defense, the front four was what I touched on after the draft when they took Taven Bryan, the defensive tackle out of Florida. You've now got him along with 3 other defensive interior linemen of Marcel Darius, Calais Campbell, and Malik Jackson. Those are your top 4 defensive tackles on a roster.
Yeah.
You look at the key loss they had this offseason, linebacker who retired out of Penn State, Paul Posluszny.
Yeah.
Retired.
But he was at the end of his.
He was at the end of his career, but a guy who may not light up the stat sheet,
he was
but
a
great leader,
a
veteran leader, and he was known to be a leader really since his days at Penn State, playing under Joe Paterno there before he went into the Bills in 2007. But Jalen Ramsey and his trash talk right now, it's getting to be a little too much. Calling Matt Ryan overrated, saying Ben Roethlisberger ain't that good. And it's like, look, Jalen, you're going into your 3rd year. He's come in trash talking right off the bat when he went at Steve Smith Sr. and he was playing for the Ravens. That's something when it gets to be too much is not good for a locker room.
That locker room, he's done that and he backs up everything. And I think that locker room
a lot of the shit he said was true.
I think that locker room feeds off him. But let's be for real. The Jaguars' question is the quarterback. Can Blake Bortles, that we know they have a Super Bowl caliber defense, can Blake Bortles lead them to a Super Bowl?
I don't think so. Not to mention on that offense, they also lost their veteran leader at tight end, Mercedes Lewis, to Green Bay. I don't think he can. But that defense though, if they all show up like we expect them to, ooh, they good.
Yeah.
They good. And if there's one team I expect to dethrone the Patriots in the AFC right now,
another team with a good defense,
I would say the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. I thought you were saying the AFC South is another team that can win it. Is another team with a great defense, if healthy, is Houston Texans.
Yeah, Houston.
Well, they added Tyrann Mathieu this offseason, the Honey Badger. I like that a lot. And of course, early third-round pick, Justin Reed from
safety from
Stanford, Eric Reed's younger brother. But of course, I want to hear more, from you guys. Toby, you're a Nebraska guy. Obviously, going up against Wisconsin, you've been familiar with J.J. Watt for a long time.
Yeah,
what impact does this guy have when he's on the field?
Oh, he has a tremendous impact, and I know he'll be slowed down a lot this season, but J.J. Watt at 80% is still better than a lot of people.
And the thing about it, he's not even the best defensive end on a team now. I give that to Jadeveon Clowney has stepped up, but that's not like. I'll take 80% J.J. Watt, like Toby just said. I mean, they have it. If they defense can just stay healthy, and don't forget about Whitney Merciless coming back from injury.
Whitney Merciless coming back.
They have a nasty defense. They have a nasty defense. And this team was balling when Deshaun Watson got in there. Don't forget, they were balling until he ripped up his neck.
Back healthy. Gosh, I hope he comes back
and that
healthy.
was a tough one, especially when you get hurt in practice. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Practice?
I know.
Got hurt in practice?
They have probably one of the best wide receivers, DeAndre Hopkins.
Clemson cat, 2013 draft class. Now, that guy's a baller. Holy cow, is he something. And another South team you mentioned, wild card team, the Tennessee Titans.
So I have my surprise team in this division. I like the Titans.
I definitely could see them. Taking the division.
Mariota got to stay healthy.
He's got to stay healthy. Oh, he's the one who's driving the train on offense. If he goes down, they're done. But I got to say, they had a very good draft defensively. Derek Morgan, their first-round pick in 2010 out of Georgia Tech, and a former first-round pick by the Redskins in 2009, Brian Arakpo. These guys are in contract years. They're also, on the downside of their career. They're not getting any younger. They drafted pass rusher Harold Landry out of Boston College, and they drafted inside linebacker Rashaan Evans from Bama. They've got an excellent offensive line anchored by Taylor Lewan and Jack Conklin.
They picked up Malcolm Butler from
Tennessee. Excellent pickup right there. A guy who comes from a winning team. Can help instill that championship mentality on a new squad. Like this. So I wouldn't sleep on them.
No,
but then there's that other team.
And then, will Andrew Luck be able to do anything?
If they can block for him, that'd be a good start.
Well, they took the draft. They took two.
He looked horrible in preseason.
No, he looked good.
He's had some moments. They're still struggling though. There are still a lot of holes left to be filled. In particular, offensively, trying to get him some more weapons.
Well, they went 4-12. He does need. They have to surround him with weapons, but he's the main thing is to get him back. To get him back. So they got him back. They went 4-12 last year. They got the guard from Notre Dame, Nilsson, who they love. Right. Even I think their second round draft pick was so they know they got to protect him. They know that's the key is to protect him with that offensive line and start putting weapons behind them. The Colts won't be, they won't be 4-12. I'll look at them, they 6-7 win team.
I'm gonna say 7-9, 8-8 at best.
Yeah, but they won't make the playoffs. I like the Jaguars coming out of this division. I like the Jaguars to win it, but if they slip up, the Texans, if Watson come back healthy,
J.J. Watt.
You know how
Watson, Deshaun Watson come
But you know how sometimes you have the 4 division winners in each conference, and then you have 2 wild cards. Yeah. I would not be surprised if we had 3 playoff teams
from this division.
AFC
I can see it. The Jaguars, Titans, and the Texans. Oh, I can definitely see it.
I got the Titans making the playoffs. I don't have the Texans yet, but I would not be surprised.
I gotta go with Jacksonville also, even though they quarterback play is suspect.
Who do you got, Joey, coming up?
To win the division? No, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, okay. All right, so I think that is the end of the AFC. So let's go right to the NFC. Let's keep it. Let's start. Where are we going? Let's start down south in the NFC. Let's start down south, which is very interesting division.
Cam.
Let's look at last year's record. The Saints won this division with 11-5 record. The Panthers, Also had 11-5 record. The Falcons came in at 10-6, and the lowly Buccaneers were 5-11. NFC South, let's get with it.
Jameis ain't famous.
Who will be out the first 3 games?
Yeah. Bullshit he be doing.
Man, I will
say his whole career. I hate to start off that division on a sour note, but he gonna throw his whole career away. This motherfucker. And I thought he was done with the crab legs.
He hasn't. You know, he.
Well, I got it.
He's been cool. He's been. You know, he's been a solid quarterback for him. They just haven't put anybody around him.
Yeah, but it's just his off the field.
Can't put no women around him.
It's the off the field stuff is the thing though that has to have you concerned because the Buccaneers this offseason are going to be faced with a very difficult decision.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you try to re-sign him long term? Do you franchise him in 1 year, or do you just let him go? There are plenty of analysts and experts who say they would cut him outright.
Yeah, that's stupid analysts.
If there's one thing I am going to say, look. The guy's not perfect, and none of us are perfect. We've all done stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We just didn't do our stupid shit while making millions of dollars.
And that's another thing too. When you're under a microscope, you just have to know better these days.
Mm-hmm.
Preseason, again, you try not to invest too much stock in it, but so far he has looked good, and he seems to have a chip on his shoulder right now. Not just due to what he's going through, way he's being portrayed by the media, but also in particular. And that's another thing, too. He's in a contract year right now on his rookie deal. So he wants to get the even bigger payday when it's all said and done. They got a stud wide receiver, Mike Evans. We all know that. Deshaun Jackson, that guy is still, he first-round pick in 2008, but he's still showing that he can run and gun with the best of them out there. I like what they have done defensively, trading for Jason Pierre-Paul in the offseason. And they also drafted that monster, Vita Vea out of Washington.
Vita Vea is going to help out a lot.
Their defense, especially on that front four, looks that much more improved adding those two guys right now.
And yet, still with that, I don't think they're a playoff team.
No, they ain't. Not without.
Especially in this division.
Sitting out.
The Falcons improved. The Panthers improved, and the Saints, with that draft last year, they only going to get better and more mature. To me, this is still the Saints' division to lose. The Saints, their thing is always been their defense. Their offense always has been explosive for years. But last year, their defense stepped up. Yeah,
their defense got better. They got Cameron Jordan, who's a bona fide stud year in and year out. Even when no one around him, he was still a stud. The guy they traded up for, Marcus Davenport, was someone we all kind of questioned, like, was it worth it? Was it worth it? If he's a shell of what they hope him to be, playing opposite Cameron Jordan, that defense is going to be fun to watch this year. I got to say, as long as Drew Brees is in New Orleans, I like their chances.
Yeah. Well, when is Father, same question with him was with Tom Brady. When is Father Time going to catch up with him?
If I had to bet, actually, I would bet that Father Time catches Tom before it does Drew.
Interesting. What makes you?
I mean, look,
I can't say that because Drew don't have Alex Guerrero,
which to me makes it all the more impressive.
Yeah. That, but that's why I say Tom gonna hold up longer because he got that extra shit.
Great offense of Alvin Kamara came in last year as a rookie.
What a player he was.
Put him with Mark Ingram. They have. I was happy that we avoided them. The Eagles avoided them in the playoffs. I really did not want to face the Saints.
And that's how teams seem to feel about the Saints every year. When they come to the playoffs, it's just something about not wanting to play the Saints. That just saying, like, man, even if they do lose to the other team.
It's Drew Brees and Sean Payton. Sean Payton is probably the second best coach in the NFL, but behind
Belichick.
Yeah, I would have to say so.
You can definitely make that into a more than reasonable argument right there. Now, I believe Mark Ingram is out first 4 games this season with a PED suspension.
Oh, he is. That's right, yeah.
That's a blow.
Well, Kamara hold it down for him.
Kamara's the number 1 back there right now. Simply put, he is.
He'll hold it down for him. What we think about the Panthers?
1-2 punch, though.
What we think about the Panthers?
The Panthers?
Yeah, the Panthers.
Nah, the Panthers. that defense, I mean, another guy with a PED suspension start off the year, Thomas Davis, their team leader and linebacker. Fortunately, they have another guy who's a stud at linebacker and a leader named Luke Kuechly. That guy's a monster. God, I love watching him play. They're getting, Charles Johnson just retired off their defensive line as well. So their veteran has just been cleared to return to practice, and Julius Peppers. The leading franchise sack leader, right there
for that last run.
But that offense, though,
McCaffrey.
But you were saying though, Cam.
Yeah, Cam gonna.
Does he have targets? Yeah, they took DJ Moore in the first round because he needs
wide receiver help. They traded Kelvin Benjamin.
The biggest help I think for Cam is going to be Norv Turner coming in.
That's an excellent. That man is a genius as an offensive coordinator. They did trade Kelvin Benjamin last season to Buffalo. Steve Smith Sr. is quoted as saying that the Panthers have finally replaced him by drafting DJ Moore.
Okay.
Now you got to have you have Greg Olsen. We all know he's a very reliable target at tight end. Been around for a long time. Good guy on the field. Good guy in the locker room and off the field.
Yeah.
I know isn't quite the impact player he once was, but Torrey Smith, we all know that man is no stranger to postseason success. Just won his second Super Bowl with the Eagles last year, came over in a trade. Like DJ Moore, he's a product of the University of Maryland right there. So what better guy to mentor a kid like DJ Moore than a guy with that pedigree right there?
Yeah.
So
good thing he was there before this last coach at Maryland.
But the Norv Turner, I think the Norv Turner point you made, and excellent reference to the Maryland coaching situation, by the way, but the Norv Turner point you made is probably the biggest key for the Panthers offensively this season, Toby.
What do we think about the Falcons?
The Calvin Ridley draft pick, I got to say, I think is excellent. Julio Jones, hopefully he joins the team sooner rather than later.
That'll help out Julio. They got a good offensive, good running backs.
With Coleman and Freeman, forget about it. And then you've got, Matt Ryan. He's got a lot to prove with this new $50 million contract, 100 of it guaranteed.
And now that Jalen Ramsey said he's underrated.
You mean overrated?
Overrated.
You know
that was a high comment.
I still like the Falcons as a team, and in particular defensively. I couldn't remember his name for the life of me on the mock draft episode. But to anchor that defense, I know there's that guy Desmond Trufant on a corner, but it's that safety, Keanu Neal.
Yeah,
that's the anchor right there. That defense, as long as he's on the field, that defense gives them a shot right there.
Yeah. So, who you like out of this division? I like the Saints. Who you like, Joey?
I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
Wow,
too.
Y'all picking the Falcons? Oh, okay.
See, and I know I mentioned the whole, 3 teams coming out of the playoffs in one division. That was the AFC South or the NFC South last year.
Yeah, I can see the same thing.
I can see it again this year.
I can see it again. Okay.
I can see it again with those same 3 teams. I might add. With the Falcons winning winning the division.
All right, so that's the NFC South. Let's go to the NFC East division I know a lot about.
We're not going to save the champions for last?
Okay, you know what? We'll save the champions for last. We'll go to the NFC West. Let's go to the NFC West.
A lot of hype around that division
Let's go to this division. Let's go to
It's the Rams division here.
All right, so NFC West last year, the Rams won the division, an 11-5 record. The Seahawks came in at 9-7. The Cardinals came in at 8-8, and the 49ers were 6-10. NFC West, let's get it started.
I know all the hype is around the Rams. Brought in, very
key Marcus Peters,
acquisitions. Aqib Talib traded for Brandon Cooks, the wide receiver from New England. There is a lot to be said, though, when teams trade for a lot of talent, a lot of new guys.
Yeah.
And try to bring them in immediately.
And pay them.
They've got an excellent defensive coordinator in Wade Phillips, a guy who we know might not be head coaching material, but the guy knows how to run a defense.
Always.
Those guys, when they're at the top of their game, are as good as anybody. But the biggest key to me is they will not have 3 guys coming back who are very widely respected in that locker room. Robert Quinn, Connor Barwin,
yes,
and Alec Ogletree.
Yes.
there is a lot to be said, for having good chemistry in the locker room. And it was the 2011 Philadelphia Eagles made a lot of moves in that offseason and did not. There were some injuries. There were some bad hands dealt.
So-called dream team.
Thanks to Vince Young, making that point. But it was one of those things where they made all those moves. They didn't make the playoffs.
And the Rams have no backup QB. Sean Mannion, I hate to say this about any individual out there.
They're going to make
he's a professional, and I respect that, but he is looking horrible.
They're going to make a move before. They're going to bring
fucking horrible.
They're going to bring in Teddy Bridgewater or
RG3.
What are they waiting on? They got to do that shit now, as soon as possible. Why are you going to wait till you actually need the motherfucker, and he can't learn nothing?
They're going to do it. They're going to do it quick, man.
They're going to make the move. I mean, Todd Gurley, he had an MVP caliber season last year.
Nice comeback season for him.
Andrew Whitworth, what an excellent signing he ended up being to anchor that offensive line at left tackle. Another thing too, Aaron Donald, he's still holding out as well.
That's the big question.
Another big name defensive player from that 2014 draft.
The biggest name. That don't make no sense.
I'd have to flip a coin between him and your guy, Khalil Mack, on that one for the biggest name. But how they have paid, they extended Brandon Cooks long term. Guys never even played on their team.
He ain't even done shit for him yet.
And they've extended Todd Gurley. Look, at least he's done something. But you've got Aaron Donald in the final year of his rookie contract season. How are you not paying this man before these guys? He's been around longer and arguably had the biggest impact.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest questions. I'm not sure what's going on with them. The sexy pick in this division, everybody loving is the 49ers, and mainly because of Jimmy G. I mean, it's
it's sexy because I guess they consider him sexy, and he went out with the porn star. That's sexy, but they ain't gonna win shit.
I mean, he's 6-0. He's 6-0 as a starter. 5-0 as a starter.
He's under. It's 5-0.
Just think about what you said. 6-0. All right. 6 games. That motherfucker done had 6 games.
This is a team we'll clearly know more about when it gets to the halfway point of the season. We'll really know if they're for real or not. I think there's reason to believe the 49ers have a good thing going. Richard Sherman, how productive is he going to be coming off the Achilles injury?
Yeah, not too much.
Not too much, but a veteran presence right there.
He's been looking pretty good in preseason. He's looked decent in preseason already, even though that don't mean shit. But Richard Sherman might, by the midseason, he might be in decent
But then
form.
they showed him in practice. Somebody in practice blew by him.
Just blew by him?
Yeah. I don't know if it was
so we're going to talk about practice.
Yeah, we talking about preseason.
Practice? Nobody give a fuck about practice.
That was a nice callback from Toby right there. Bring it up again.
Fuck about practice.
But they took Mike McGlinchey out of Notre Dame because they know they got to protect all that money they gave him.
Money they gave him.
Joe Staley is starting to get up there in age. This 49er team, Reuben Foster, I like him. Eli Harrell.
Shout out to Reuben Foster.
Yeah.
Bitch said he put hands on her and he didn't. Yeah. And went through all that shit.
They almost took his career from him.
Shout out to Reuben Foster. Let's not forget that shit.
Yeah, I gotta say, what has me comfortable about the Niners is they're still kind of starting fresh. The combination of Jimmy G with Kyle Shanahan on the sideline.
He still need weapons. He needs some more offense.
And John Lynch even.
John Lynch so far doing a good job. Still doing a good job as the GM. That's right. But
doing good even
could have done more on the weapon front. Yeah, you got McGlinchey. I feel like they could have gone elsewhere with that first round pick, but we'll see. We'll see right there. And then, you look at the other teams in this division, the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
Seahawks trending down. A lot of people think they trending down.
I think they are too. This to me is very similar to the offseason the 49ers endured in 2015 when everybody either left via free agency or, Patrick Willis was a guy who retired early. This is kind of, it's almost like deja vu all over again just for the Seahawks right here. Cam Chancellor retiring early. Earl Thomas.
Seahawks in rebuild mode.
They're in rebuild mode right now.
Earl Thomas want to get out of town.
He either wants his money or he wants to get out of town. And if they haven't paid him now, they're not going to.
Nah.
Bobby Wagner is a guy who, I don't think can carry a defense by himself, but if I'm going to start with somebody, that's not a bad guy to start with right there. Traded Michael Bennett to the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. You know, said to be a distraction of sorts, you know, with all his off-the-field commentary. But
standing up for black people, a distraction.
But no question, a terrific talent. Simple as that. The guy's a terrific athlete, and he's a great talent.
Police even fucked with him.
But it's something that when it's all said and done.
Ken Norton Jr. taking over as defensive coordinator for
Ken
Seattle.
Norton Jr., I mean, one of my all-time favorite old school linebackers right there. The guy knows how to coach a defense.
Yes, he does.
Guy knows how to coach. But they're still not making the playoffs. And then, I mean, Arizona, I don't even know where to go with them. I love Larry Fitzgerald. Huge fan of Larry Fitzgerald.
I wish he could have got out of there and got somewhere where he could win, but, you know, he's had a tremendous career. I mean, shit, people in Arizona think so much of Fitzgerald. He is speaking at John McCain's funeral.
Service. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he got to speak there.
Well, they putting in Rosen. Rosen is coming in, so he's going to have his bumps. They got Bradford.
I like his arm, but Rosen, I got to be honest, he looks fragile to me.
He's got some learning to do, and you know he's going to get hit a lot more very fast at this level.
And hopefully he could take them hits.
But they have their running back, David Johnson, one of the best in the league.
He's
Johnson. Healthy. And if he's healthy, he's going to take a lot of. And then, you know, they got some weapons on him. You know, Fitzgerald's still there.
So you think Rosen's not going to start?
No, he's not going to start. Bradford is going to hold it down.
If he can stay healthy, you know, a lot of people believe that Sam Bradford, you know, he has one of the top 5 arms in the league as long as he's healthy. The guy was no scrub, but he didn't show me anything that would put him in a category of top 5.
He was so brittle
in that regard. But even when he was on the field, though, there was nothing that really showed me, you know, anything to be impressed about. But then again, he did not go into the most ideal situation in St. Louis when he came out in 2010. So,
and they still got one of the best cornerbacks in the league, Patrick Peterson.
P squared. God, I love that guy.
Chandler Jones is
that guy's a stud right
waiting
there.
For Robert Denichi to come into his own
from Oklahoma State.
No. He was from Mississippi State.
From Mississippi State, okay.
Yeah, they're waiting for him to come into his own. So, I mean, Arizona, they was 8-8 last year. I can see him back to 8-8 this year. But if they'll be happy if they have their quarterback, if they found their quarterback for the future, because then they can start building around. But division winner?
I got to go with the Rams.
I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers.
Wow.
I'm going with the Niners.
I'm going with the Rams, too, man. I'm going with the Rams, too.
I hope it's the Rams. But I just think there's going to be too many distractions going into this season.
That was the NFC West. NFC West.
Got the North.
All good.
All right, so
NFC North.
Yeah, NFC. What they call this? The black and blue division?
It's so goddamn cold in all these spots.
NFC North. Last year, the Vikings killed this division at 13-3. The Lions actually were 9-7. Packers, you know, Rodgers was out most of the year. They were 7-9, and the Bears were 5-11. NFC North, the black and blue division. What y'all think?
Well, what do you want to start off with?
Well, the Vikings starting off with as the Kirk Cousins era begins for Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Kirk Cousins fan, even though he used to kill us when he was with the Redskins.
They could have kept Case Keenum.
It seemed like he played all his great games against the Eagles when he played us.
He had his moments. Look, the guy to lead the league in passing yards anytime and be in that area for 3 straight seasons, you're somebody. You're no scrub.
Yeah, you can't doubt.
To say that the guy deserved $84 million fully guaranteed, I'm not sure I'll go there. But then again, here's a situation. He's going to have some more dynamic receivers to throw the ball to. Stephon Diggs. We all know
he signed him too.
They re-signed him. He's earned his paycheck. Kyle Rudolph. Kirk Cousins liked utilizing the tight end in D.C. with Jordan Reed at that position. Adam Thielen, very reliable in particular on third down. If Dalvin Cook comes back and shows the form that he started to show last season as a rookie, if that line can block, there's that big question, but can they block for these guys? Can they block for these guys? If they can block, this team will be exciting again.
And the defense is tight defense.
They're solid. Harrison Smith.
Even though we put 30 straight points up on them in the NFC Championship.
And not to mention this new helmet rule. You got to wonder how it's going to alter some of these defenses and certain players in particular. The Vikings, they are a team. They have some heavy hitters: Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, Linval Joseph. But in particular, their safety Harrison Smith. That guy just lays it down on you.
He does.
As a receiver, and he's somebody you just got to wonder is this going to affect him in that case? But I still like the Vikings. If there's one thing I'm going to say, no team got weaker this offseason.
Yeah.
They all made some moves to either maintain or improve. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers is, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yes, he
when
is.
he's on the field. They brought in Jimmy Graham via free agency. Sometimes his toughness has been questioned throughout his career, but I like the idea of Rodgers throwing him the rock. Because let's face it, the scenario of Russell Wilson throwing the ball to him in Seattle was nowhere near as good as it was when he was with Drew Brees in New Orleans.
Yeah, and that's true. Now you got Aaron Rodgers. So,
and I mean, if someone asked me if I had to pick between Brees and Rodgers as my quarterback,
I'm going Rodgers.
Oh, Rodgers.
Don't get me wrong, I'm going quarterback. But if someone said it's going to come up to the flip of a coin, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with either one of those guys. And if you got a big athletic tight end like Jimmy Graham, I dig it. I dig it. That offense could be very exciting this season. And they got a late round pick out of Notre Dame, Equanimeous St. Brown.
Oh, yeah, St. Brown. His brother is a freshman at USC this year. One of the top one of the top recruits
coming in. Well, let me say, hey, there's a guy who can make a guy like St. Brown into a stud. Rodgers is that guy too. Defensively,
Rodgers was talking shit about all the receivers.
He was cussing out his receivers earlier.
He was cussing them out. He's frustrated. I'm sure part of it has to do with Jordan Nelson not being there, but that's also the growing
pains. But he said the effort, though. That's what fucked me up. When somebody say the effort is low, it's one thing to drop passes or make mistakes, but when the effort, motherfucker got to command, talk about your effort. That's kind of weird to me.
Who's going to run the ball for Packers this year? Aaron Jones? Or they got Aaron Jones who was...
Was it Rodgers?
No, Aaron Jones, speedy second-year running back. Aaron Jones is primarily a rusher. He ran for 488 yards. I like their first and second round draft pick, the two cornerbacks they picked out of Louisville and out of Iowa.
Jair Alexander and Josh Jackson. Hell, they got Josh Jackson at number 45 was beyond me right there. That was a brilliant steal right there.
They also brought back Tremaine Williams, who used to play with them. Clay Matthews is getting older. I'm not crazy about their pass rush. They got Rodgers. They're going to be able to score.
Yeah.
But are they going to be able to stop anybody? That's the thing. Let's go to the Bears. Mitchell, they was 5-11 last year. Mitchell Trubisky, they were very, very conservative with him. They ain't let him do nothing last year. So hopefully they'll, turn him loose this year.
Yeah. They've got a new defensive coordinator right now, and Vic Fangio. He got a gem of a pick in Roquan Smith at number 8.
Yeah, out of Georgia.
Out of Georgia.
Yeah.
Last first rounder signed to his contract, and that's where the new helmet rule came into play, and what took so damn long for them to come up with that new deal. But I think he's going to thrive in that system. Trubisky, I'm expecting some good things out of him. They brought in Allen Robinson from Jacksonville to give him another target right there. They're not ready yet, but they're going in the right direction.
The key is the quarterback.
They're going in the right direction.
Like any team, if you got your quarterback, and then you can start building around them. So they're trying to see if Trubisky is their quarterback, and then they can start building around him. Like you said, I love the first round draft pick, the linebacker. And which they picked up Trey Burton, our third tight end, who's going to be, I think, their second or first tight end. He's solid. He's a solid guy. Still not ready, like you said. Still not ready, but trending upward. But it's all about Trubisky, man. It's all about.
Yeah.
And who was that? They first round pick last season. That defensive end from Stanford. I didn't hear too much about him.
No.
You know what they did? It was Trubisky. That's
it was
right.
What's his name? Solomon Thomas was the next pick to San Francisco. Solly T.
Okay. Lions.
They're horrible.
Well, actually, they came in second place last year, mainly because Rodgers got hurt.
Yeah.
Stafford is
still got
balling.
rid of the coach.
Stafford's tough as nails.
Yeah.
The big question surrounding him, is will they officially moved on from the questions and the controversy about Matt Patricia? For the whole sexual assault accusations. I hope they're not. I hope they're not. Look, Golden Tate, that guy is one of the most electrifying players in the NFL to this day and has been since the Seahawks took him out of Notre Dame in 2010. He's somebody, who, two guys on every team's defense have to account for him. Simple as that. But they're a team.
They're in rebuild mode.
They're in rebuild
I don't know,
mode.
Rebuild mode. Well, they got their quarterback.
They might
rebuild.
I won't go rebuild yet.
Retooling. I say retooling.
Retooling, I guess, is one way to put it.
Restocking. They signed LeGarrette Blount 1 year. He come there and get them hard, tough yards for him.
They get the ball down to the 2 or the 1. Oh, they'll be in the end zone.
Damn.
They'll be in the end zone.
I forgot about LeGarrette Blount going there. That was a nice way.
And one of the most underrated players in the league is that cornerback Darius Slay. A lot of people don't really talk about him. He's one of the top cornerbacks in the league, man. Jared Davis, I think that was the number 1 pick linebacker from last year. He actually is doing real good.
Ain't nobody ever talking about nobody at Detroit.
Yeah,
but Stafford and Calvin Johnson because they commanded, but everybody else because it's Detroit, man. Motherfuckers don't.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
The Lions.
Division winner?
I'm going with the Vikings to repeat as division winner.
I'm going to go with them too.
Yeah, that's the easy one.
So that's 3. Any other playoff teams coming out of this?
Cousins won't make them any better, but he won't make them any worse.
Any other playoff teams? I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So that is the NFC North, and we just down to 1, man. This is moving pretty fast, man. Let's go. Yeah. So we're going to take it to a division I know a lot about, man, because it's the NFC East. Yes.
We had to save the champs for last.
Yeah, got to save the champs for last, man. Let me look at the division, the records from last year. I know we was 13-3. I know that last year. Cowboys were 9-7. Redskins were 7-9, and the Louis Giants were 3-13. All right, so
America's team.
Let's get started.
What part of America?
NFC.
Fuck the Cowboys.
NFC East. So, I'll start it off. It's the Eagles' division to lose. If they do not win this division, I'll be very disappointed. And the division has improved. The Giants have improved. The Redskins, Alex Smith, I'm not really worried about him as, Adrian Peterson.
I'm not worried about Alex Smith.
If that's what you're working with, I do like. But the Redskins play tough. They play tough. I like that.
They're stingy.
Yeah.
Especially in division games.
Cowboys, I'm not worried about them. Even though I'm kind of a little worried about the Cowboys' defense. Other than that, is our division to win.
Worried about the Cowboys' defense, meaning that it's improved, or worried that it won't be effective?
No, it's improved.
I agree it has improved the preseason, and I see you've jotted down the note Randy Gregory there, and I believe he's a Cornhusker as well,
Randy
too.
looked nice out there the
He's
other
looking
night.
good.
Yeah,
he's looking good right now. Let's keep in mind, and I, as a New York Giants fan here, I hate the Cowboys, but they dealt with a lot of distractions last season, in particular surrounding their star running back, Ezekiel Elliott. Appears to have kind of, things seem to be kind of behind him right there. Seem to be behind the organization as a whole, too. When that line is healthy, that is the most dangerous running back in the league. Because not only can he find the hole, he can go the distance, too. He can find that other gear. He has the lateral agility movement. And he's got the size where if someone tries to hit him, some of these guys bounce off him, too, for a yard as well. Deron Payne, I think, was an excellent draft pick in the first round by the Washington Redskins right there.
To go with the other defensive lineman from Alabama they took last year, Jonathan Allen, who was hurt pretty much all last year.
So they, it goes to what you said right there. But speaking of first-round picks, I remember there were some questions, not just from you guys, but others, about the linebacker they took from Boise State in the first round, Leighton Vander Esch. I think under the tutelage of, what's his name, Sean Lee, their captain right there, the linebacker corps, not just the linebacker corps, but the defense as a whole.
The defense was ranked. The Cowboys' defense was ranked 8th last year, so they weren't. They were not bad. They've got. Why am I drawing a blank? The terrific athlete at cornerback they have, is it Byron Jones? Byron Jones is a terrific athlete. From
he
UConn,
seems to be improving. Defensively as well. but that back to that offensive line, they drafted Connor Williams in the second round out of the University of Texas. He went 50th overall. Very good story there. Talk about the rich get richer. You got Zach Martin at guard. You got Tyron Smith as your blindside tackle, but Travis Frederick at center. Yeah. As he was diagnosed with
that autoimmune
disease.
Yeah, that shit could be devastating.
There is a name for it, and look, no matter who your favorite team is, no matter which teams you like the least, you don't ever want to hear about that happening to anybody. I want to be very clear about that. Wish him a speedy recovery, but let's be clear, if he's not there for the first 2 to 4 games of the season, that can be tough to deal with right there. That is the anchor of their offensive line, is that guy right there. And speaking of offensive lines, my New York Giants. Probably stole the hype of the offseason. In particular, you look at the draft with Saquon Barkley, us taking him number 2 overall, believed to be the best player in the draft.
Yes.
We also took Will Hernandez with the 34th overall pick.
I like
that. To me, was the key of our draft class right there, because what was our biggest weakness last year by far was our offensive line. Look, what good is...
Yeah, Eli got killed last year.
What good is Sterling Shepard, Odell Beckham Jr., Evan Ingram, and though he didn't do anything but was still known to be a presence throughout his career, and Brandon Marshall? What good are those guys if you don't have a line to protect them?
Yeah, and Eli on his back.
We got... Nate Solder, signed him in the offseason from New England. Wasn't worth the money that we paid him, but the number 1 guy at his position, he's going to get paid like he's the best offensive lineman in the league. That's just, it's a numbers game. We traded just the other day, we traded our center, Brett Jones, to the Vikings for a 7th round pick.
I think your offense is going to be, if the line hold up,
we'll be better.
What's that defense? What is Eli Apple looking like?
Well, here's the thing. Eli Apple, it seems like he's gotten off his mama's jock.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be his biggest problem.
I was actually with, everybody, that's Michael Blackson's nephew. I was actually hanging out with him a few months ago. He was over at the house.
So wait a minute. Eli Apple is Michael Blackson's nephew?
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that. Yeah, that's his sister's son. Yeah.
You know what's so funny about that, though, is like if someone told me him and Michael Blackson were brothers, I'd have believed it, because there clearly is a resemblance right there.
Uncle,
and it makes sense why these Giants players were making appearances at Michael Blackson's shows over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
but
Annie Apple is his mom. I've known Annie for years. Yeah,
he's a great talent.
Yeah,
he's a great talent.
But here, Case, and I told Michael Blackson when he was going through that shit last year, I'll show you the text. I sent Michael, I said, Mike, you got to talk to your nephew. Like, he got to stop, because once you get blackballed out the NFL, they don't let you back in.
Yeah.
Like, Mike was like, I'm trying to talk. He was going through some family stuff. Yeah, we ain't got to get all into that, but hopefully he got his head on straight.
And that's the main thing about it is,
because he's got talent.
You want to be mindful of the fact that this guy was clearly dealing with something personal off the field. He's human, just like all of us right here. But we had drafted Eric Flowers in the first round of the 2015 draft, or in the top 10 of the 2015 draft. Obviously, did not work out a left tackle, moving him to the right side.
He's a
more
guard.
Natural position.
To me, he's a guard, but here's trying to make him into a tackle.
For whatever reason, I don't know who on earth decided to try to switch him from a guard to a tackle, because there really is a huge difference between the two. A lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, there is.
It does not happen overnight when one guy is maybe effective as a tackle. It's not as easy to become a guard just like that. But, Patrick Omameh, another Omameh, I think is how it's pronounced, is another guy. You have a brand new offensive line. This is similar to what I was saying about the Rams with all the moves they made this offseason. I'm not sure I'm digging the whole idea of a brand new offensive line trying to block for Eli Manning. However, Eli Manning said he didn't want to go to San Diego because they didn't have a line in the 04 draft class. The next year, the Chargers had a completely brand new all 5 offensive linemen, and they were a playoff team with Drew Brees all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So you guys picked up Alec Ogletree.
Love that. And Connor Barwin as well. Love the Alec Ogletree acquisition. Got him in a trade.
You said Connor
Barwin, yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all picked him up. Okay.
Yep, former Eagle.
Oh yeah, but
he's right there.
He's on his last. He's on his last leg. But I love Landon Collins, one of my favorite. I remember he was coming out in the draft. I wanted the Eagles to get him.
I was so glad we traded up for that guy when we did in the second round of that draft.
It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, we'll see with that defense, but the offense and the excitement is back. The excitement is back.
Excitement's
what do you
back.
say to people who say no matter what, y'all should have took a quarterback that high.
We didn't have to.
No, look how old and Breeze and Brady playing.
But they was like Eli's been trending downward for a few years.
No, the team was trending down.
The team was trending down, and but it goes back to everything I said. What good are these guys? These weapons if you can't block for them.
Mm-hmm.
Simply put, you've got to have if I'm going to start a football team with 3 positions, I'm going center, guard, and tackle.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm starting to build the team with, are those 3 spots right there.
All right, so did we talk about the Redskins, the Alex Smith era?
A little bit, but let's get back into the Alex Smith era right there.
I mean, I'm not a big Alex Smith. I mean, he's a game holder. He's not going to, he's going to do all right. But why didn't the Redskins, what was they think about not paying Kirk Cousins?
Yeah,
that's a great question.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
They didn't want to pay him.
And then they're going to pay Alex Smith. I think I'd rather have Kirk Cousins than Alex Smith.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah.
I would too. The good thing about Alex Smith is he's a risk-averse quarterback. He doesn't turn the ball over very often, but those quarterbacks do not win you Super Bowls.
No, they won't even be in the playoffs, so they won't have to worry about him turning it over at a crucial point because they will never be a crucial point.
It's the Redskins, so there probably won't be, but I will not sleep on them. And I mean, look,
Gruden always has them playing tough.
And I'm not sleeping on Josh Norman, anchoring that secondary this season as well, too. People can say, he was just in the right system in Carolina. That's why he did as well as he did, with so many great pieces around him. There might be some truth to that, but he has held his own since coming to the nation's capital, playing for the Redskins. I didn't like him because of his spat with Odell Beckham Jr. on the field, but it was Odell's fault. I'm a Giants fan. I admit that. That was Odell's fault right there. And not only that, I had the pleasure of meeting Josh in Houston last year. I didn't tell him I was a Giants fan. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy, real cool, calm, and collected. I've heard a lot of stories about people dealing with him off the field. He's a solid individual. But now we're talking about these 3 teams. Jamal, you want to do the honors?
Well, let's end it up on the defending Super Bowl champions, and we'll be the repeat. To me, we got better. I mean, people have to understand, we won the Super Bowl without the MVP quarterback. Let's be for real. Carson Wentz was the MVP of the league before he got hurt.
Yes, he was.
To me, he still should have won MVP, but it's some bullshit. Without our Hall of Fame left tackle, Jason Peters.
Yep.
Without Darren Sproles.
Love me some Sproles.
Without Chris
those little guys.
Manigos. Y'all may not know him, but he was our number 1 special teams guy. And I thought we lost somebody. We didn't play with somebody else too. Oh, our middle linebacker, Jordan Hixx. And we still won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And we got better. We got better. I mean, we picked up Michael Bennett, who still, and Michael doesn't even have to start. He's gonna come off the bench and give us, we picked him up. We picked up Mike Wallace, who's actually better than Torrey Smith. We got that tight end. Dallas Goddard out of we call him Philly Goddard out of
South Dakota State.
Yeah, South Dakota State.
South Dakota, okay.
And we still got Zach Ertz, who's one of the best tight ends, and this guy gonna come in and learn. He doesn't have to. The thing is, he don't even have to come in. He just come in and just do what he do. Now, the only concern is some injuries. Alshon Jeffrey is still not out yet. Is still not back yet. He may miss a few games, and of course Wentz. But I mean, with Wentz, we have the Super Bowl MVP. Backing him up. So
he ain't look like it in preseason.
It's preseason. Nobody give a shit about preseason. Foles. Listen, when Foles has shown when them lights come on, he does his thing. And
he shined last year.
If Foles has to play 3 games, we fine. It ain't about this. It's about this season, but it's also about the next 10 years we'll win. So
Peterson got mad when they asked about who the starting QB is.
Well, I mean,
when Wentz playing,
because Peterson has told them many times it's not mad. The doctors will make that call, man. So listen, I will be upset if we don't win. We don't defend. To me, we got better. We got depth.
We should say it. I agree.
Everything. I agree with everything
like
you're saying,
we have shown we can deal with injuries. Anything can happen. I understand. We have shown we can deal with injuries, but Peterson has shown that he knows how to run a team with injuries. His play calling, he's aggressive. He's shown that he's aggressive. We got some young. Corey Clement balled out his rookie year. He's a sophomore year. We didn't have Darren Sproles. Just imagine shit we gonna be able to do with Darren Sproles. Little third down
in his last year. Give it up for
in his last year, man.
5'6" of them.
Jason Peters is back. Our middle linebacker is back, man. We've gotten better, man. We signed Haloti Ngata to come in, and Tim Jernigan is still hurt. Jernigan is still hurt. He probably will miss the first half of the season. That's fine. That's what I'm saying. We got enough depth to hold us down, man. Brandon Graham is, he's back and he's healthy, and we didn't even know he played with a fucked up ankle in the Super Bowl last year and was balling, man. So they got to pay him. He's actually a free agent at the end of the season. They got to pay that guy.
It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah. I mean, Jay Ajayi
takes over.
Takes over. He'll have he had a full off season to get acclimated to the playbook.
He takes over
the system.
But Corey Clement is going to help. Is going to help him out, and Darren Sproles is going to do different stuff. So it's not like Jay Ajayi's going to get like 20. He's not going to get 25 rushes. We'll probably give him 15 to 16. Keep him healthy, man. Because we got enough. We got weapons all over, man. And Nelson Aguilar's ready to go.
Aguilar, man. What a difference a year made in 2016, with these drops he was having. You would have thought, that they were getting ready to say bye, Felicia.
They were. He just needed
they did something. Whatever they did, they got him right, and good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just only probably team in this division I'm nervous about is the Giants. Cowboys, that defense, I'm not really worried about their offense. It is what it is, man.
Cowboys ain't gonna do shit.
I'm not worried about the Redskins.
Okay.
Simply
Super Bowl picks started.
Hold up, but real quick though, who do we think is winning the division?
I already said Eagles.
Yeah, I got to roll with the Eagles on that.
I'm gonna say
black.
I'm gonna say the Eagles.
Okay, even as a Giants fan. Okay. Any other playoff teams coming out of this division?
My other playoff teams that aren't division winners. I'm gonna go with in this one, no. In this one, no.
Nobody else coming out. Even the Giants, your own Giants, you don't think they coming out?
I still think we're 1 year away.
Okay,
I think we're 1 year.
All right, cool. So Super Bowl picks. Toby, NFC, AFC?
I would have to go with Philadelphia and
out of the AFC?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
So an all Pennsylvania Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is it for Pittsburgh. If they don't get there this year, they're done.
So my rule is, as long as you have won the Super Bowl, you are the favorite to win it until you are officially dethroned, and that, in this case, is the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC. Mm-hmm. I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC.
Okay. Me, obviously, in NFC, you guys know I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles. AFC, I'm telling you, it's crazy, Joey. I thought long and hard about the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers coming out the AFC.
They're good.
I think they understand this is their last year, and I think they're going to put it all together and finally overthrow
New England.
So yeah, that's it, man. That is the 2018 NFL season preview. We did it right there. Please hit us up if you got any questions and everything. We got a phone number, right, Toby? We got a phone number.
818-916-1818.
One more time.
818-916-1818.
Listen, when you listen to this, hit us up on our page, and if you agree, you disagree, let us know. We want to know your thoughts about it, so make sure you comment on the Instagram page, Dope Dealer Podcast, Instagram page, Dope Dealer Podcast on IG.
Yeah.
Toby, what's cracking? Joey, where can they find you? I'm sorry, Joey, where can they find you at? Where you at? Tell people what you got going on.
You know what? So on Instagram, it's Joe Stradamus, JoeStradamus_. I'm getting back into the comedy fold right now, writing and hitting some mics. Mm-hmm. Still pitching my movie script right now. We're making some progress there. And just to clear something up to all my followers, there's been a lot of questions. I am not doing adult films. I am not in the porn industry.
What the hell?
That was a commercial. I just have to clear that up with everybody right now. With the one with Shane Mosley.
Yeah.
And where it looks like I'm being seduced by the teacher.
Okay, I didn't know what the hell. Okay. All right,
that's
cool,
funny. Man. That was a whole nother episode.
Hey, listen, please, you listen to us on all podcast outlets. Please tell a friend who tells a friend. Go to iTunes, subscribe to us, leave a review. If you leave a review, take a screenshot of it. Go to our Instagram page, DM us the screenshot, and we will send you a T-shirt. Give us your address, and we will send you a Dope Dealer Podcast T-shirt. We appreciate you guys, man. Toby, anything else?
Yeah, man. Hey, September 7th, check me out in Atlantic City at the Borgata with my man Felipe Esparza. 9/8, we in D.C. at the brand new MGM National Harbor Casino. Felipe Esparza, Toby Hixx, Rodrigo Torres. And September 11th, I'll be at the Throckmorton Theater by myself in Mill Valley. Well, I won't be by myself, but I'll be closing that show in Mill Valley. Right. So that's September 11th.
That's cool, man. And listen,
good stuff, man.
September 7th, Oxnard, California. I'm coming out to you, man. September 7th, Oxnard, California. Is me, Honest John, Pierre, Scruncho, Denise Carter, and Julio Gonzalez, man. We're going to be at the La Fonda El Rey restaurant at September 7th. So
damn,
please, everybody.
That's a restaurant?
Yeah.
All of y'all at a restaurant?
Well, restaurant. They got, but it's, you know, we've done a show there
that's
before.
Like, damn.
They got
heavy hitters at the restaurant.
They got a ballroom. Yeah. There's Chuck Dennis. You know, where Chuck Dennis.
Everybody
out there for the Oxnard Jazz Festival, which is the next day, but Friday, you know, we do the comedy show. And also this weekend, I will be in Knoxville, Tennessee, not doing any comedy. I will be at my good friend Chastity Branner's wedding. I will be supporting her. So God bless her and her husband to be Chris. So I'll be in Knoxville. In the Knoxville area,
wedding planner.
I'm out there. You know, my homegirl
doing weddings now.
No, my homegirl. My homegirl getting wedding. She's getting married, so I'm gonna go
weddings
support that.
Now, out of town weddings, it's okay.
Yeah,
that's some good shit.
I just got out of one that had some drama, but we'll save that for another day.
Hey,
I told my buddy 2 years ago he should have dropped this girl.
Hey, we love you guys, man. Dope Dealer Podcast. You know how we do.
Dope Dealers.
I got my movie pass. I got my movie pass. Hey, yo, that's like the AMC, cause seats always reclining. So in between work, that's where I can find them. Plus, they got a Mustang, soda fountain refills with the touchscreen. Combinations umpteen. Plus, I got